You see, now this is how you do a fucking show. Last night, the WWE may as well have blown its brains out. Tonight, they washed the blood off the walls, put themselves back together, and actually decided to do something good for a change. Yes, that's right, you heard me. Raw did not suck tonight. For like the first time in for fucking ever. Yes, I actually have positive things to say about the show for once. Let's dive right in. April 4th, 2016, from Dallas, Texas. Same city as WrestleMania last night, however not the same arena. Tonight they were in the American Airlines Center. The show starts off with a WrestleMania recap video. Basically just shows pictures, still pictures from the show last night. They always do this. I don't know why they can't just show videos. Oh, that would spoil all the good stuff, I guess. Whatever. And then they show the intro video, the Raw intro video, complete with pyro afterwards. The stage blows the fuck up. It's all good. And after that, Vince comes out. And the fucking crowd chants the lyrics to his song. Specifically the part, no chance in hell. Which Vince immediately says, that's exactly the same chance that Shane had last night at WrestleMania. Which the crowd immediately boos. Vince talks a bunch of hot garbage. Who really cares? The crowd is chanting Shane O'Mac, Shane O'Mac. And sure enough, well, basically what happens is Vince finishes his promo and he's getting ready to leave. As he's turning to leave, he's up on the stage. He never went down to the ring. He was on the stage the whole time. As he goes to leave, Shane's music hits. And he comes out very slowly. He's limping. You know, he looks like he's been through hell, which, you know, legitimately he fucking was. My God. His music hit and the crowd popped hard. They start chanting Shane O'Mac again. And they start chanting Thank You, Shane. And Shane basically says, you know, I only came out here for two reasons. The first reason was to thank the crowd. Or no. The first reason was he wanted to shake Vince's hand because you know what? You won. I couldn't beat Undertaker. You win. I'm a man. I'm going to shake your hand. Even though Vince did fuck all, so whatever. He should be shaking Undertaker's fucking hand. They shake hands. The crowd starts chanting, You Still Got It, at Shane, of course. And Shane says the second reason he came out was to say goodbye. You know, I couldn't accomplish what I was trying to accomplish, so I'm out of here. He starts leaving. The crowd's like, no, no, no. And Vince gets mad. He's like, no, 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 hold on a minute. You ain't going anywhere. You're not going to upstage me. And for some idiot reason, I don't know why Vince did this, but you know what? I don't have a problem with it. Vince is like, you people want to see Shane run Raw? And they're like, yes, 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 because of course they want to fucking see Shane run Raw. Of course they do. They start chanting, let him run it. And Vince is like, you know what? You know what? Fine. Let's see what you got, Shane. I'll let you run it for tonight. One night only. And Vince leaves. And so Shane is left in charge of Raw for the night. That's the end of that segment. Next up, the New Day comes out to a nice pop. Huge pop. The crowd completely chanting along with their whole introduction. You know, everything. You know, Big E doing their introduction, whatever the fuck. They come out, and they get in the ring, and they start cutting a promo, and I notice they still have the tag team title belts. And I'm like, what the fuck? Apparently, the match last night at WrestleMania was not for the tag team titles. And that's the only reason the League of Nations won. So, the New Day are still the tag team champions. I don't know how I fucked that up last night. I could have swore the match was supposed to be for the titles. Of course, the match was also supposed to be a 4-on-3 handicap match, and it wasn't. It was 3-on-3. Apparently, they changed shit at the last minute. They changed it from the 4-on-3 to a 3-on-3, and they took the titles off the line. Either way, the New Day, they cut their promo. The crowd's eating it up. The crowd the night after WrestleMania is usually pretty damn good. It's just a hot crowd. They chant for all kinds of different shit. They chant some stupid shit too, but you know what? Fuck it. Fucking hell. Before Vince even came out at the top of the show, the commentators are like, you know, the crowd after WrestleMania is always really raucous and really pumped up and fired up, and, you know, but they're having fun, they like it, you know. And Vince was even like, yeah, this crowd's crazy, and they always are the night after WrestleMania. But yeah. So the New Day gets done cutting their promo, and we cut to a commercial break. And we come back from the break, the League of Nations comes out. I don't think they got much of a reaction because nobody fucking likes them. Even with this hot crowd, these people still didn't chant or even boo for the League of Nations while they were coming out. So, what we're getting right now is an actual tag team title match. It's going to be Kofi and Big E defending against Sheamus and Wade Barrett. Going into the match, oh yes, Sheamus and Kofi were legal. Sheamus wound up on the outside of the ring. Big E was standing by the ropes, over by the side of the ring where Sheamus was. Kofi hits the other ropes and comes running, and Big E thrusts him up and over, and Kofi comes flying and just lands on top of Sheamus and wipes him the fuck out. So it was a big flying dive on Sheamus. It was a commercial break shortly after that. Coming back from the commercial, the crowd is doing a wave. So they're doing the woo, woo, you know, it's going around and around and around, you know. And then they started chanting, "We are awesome." Like I said, they chant some dumb shit too. Big E hits his big running splash. And the finish of the match comes when Big E and Kofi hits their nice double team move. Big E gets the guy up on his shoulders for the big ending. And Kofi comes jumping off of, I don't know if it's the second rope or the top rope, but Kofi grabs the guy and lands him in a DDT as Big E plants him with the big ending. So it's a big ending DDT. They hit that on Barrett, and they get the 1, 2, 3. So, New Day retains the tag titles. The crowd popped for this. Which, again, that's out of the ordinary because a lot of times the crowd is dead after every match. But the New Day actually won, and it's a good crowd, so they actually popped. So there's great. New Day's leaving. They still got the belts. They don't give a fuck. Meanwhile, Sheamus is in the ring. The whole League of Nations, they're in the ring. Sheamus is mad. He's got a microphone. He's telling the crowd to shut up. You people shut up. Fuck all of you, you know. And he starts getting around to a point, and that is saying that the group is only as strong as their weakest link. And I believe I've found the weakest link. All of a sudden, Del Rio and Rusev, this whole time Barrett is like down on one knee. He's like pulling a Tebow, basically. Barrett's down on one knee. He's like, God damn it, I can't believe I lost again. Sheamus is like, I think I've found the weakest link. And then Rusev and Del Rio grab Barrett. They pick him up and they hold him. And Sheamus hits the fucking brogue kick and nails Barrett right in the face with it. And the crowd starts chanting, nah, 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 hey, 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 goodbye. All of a sudden, cutaway gag. We come back, Wyatts are in the ring, and they just start beating the shit out of all three of the remaining members of the League of Nations. Barrett was kicked out of the ring by the League of Nations, so Barrett's on the floor, he's out cold. The Wyatts just destroy all three remaining members of the League of Nations. Including Bray hitting a Sister Abigail on Sheamus. And the crowd starts chanting, thank you, Wyatts. Bray's down on his knees doing his pose over top of Sheamus, and he screams out, follow the buzzards. And they cut to a commercial break. The Wyatt cut right to a commercial break. So, coming back from the commercial, we're backstage, basically in the car park, in the back of the arena. There's Vince, and Renee comes up, and she's like, what's going on? And Vince is like, I'm getting the hell out of here, because I can see that with Shane in charge, this is going to be a train wreck. And I don't want to watch the ship sink. So he gets in his limo and he takes off. Cutting back to the arena, Summer Rae's music is playing. She's already in the ring and she has a microphone and she starts talking. This bitch can't talk for shit. She talks a bunch of hot garbage. I don't really remember what she says exactly, but basically she says that, you know, my team may not have won last night at WrestleMania, but at least I didn't end up face down on the mat like Sasha Banks. She's basically calling out Sasha. Sure enough, Sasha's music hits. She comes out to a nice pop. She gets in the ring. She takes the microphone away from Summer. And she starts talking. I don't remember exactly what she says. But, doesn't really matter. She says something, then she just bim slaps the fuck out of Summer right in the face. And she starts attacking her, and this is the start of the match, because apparently this match was supposed to happen. So we get Summer versus Sasha. Match was fairly quick. It was a crap match. Only two things of note. Summer hits her spinning heel kick. You know, this was her finisher in NXT. It's a standing spinning heel kick. You know, I'll just go ahead and demonstrate it. She's standing, and she does the spinning heel kick like that. So that's what it is. Like I said, this was her finisher in NXT. She gets a 2 count off of it here. Sasha kicks out. Yada yada yada, more bullshit. Sasha locks in the bank statement. Summer taps out like a bitch. Sasha wins. So, yay Sasha won. Yay Summer gets treated like the jabroni piece of shit that she is. But the match still sucked. And just not really a very good demonstration of Sasha. And like I said on the video from WrestleMania last night, the Divas really need to step their fucking game up. We can't have any more of this kiddie crap. And this was basically a squash match. So, unless that's what they were going for, like they're really trying to make Sasha look good, you know? Like, she's so much better than Summer, she can just job her out like that. Which, yeah, okay, but like, the match still sucked. Anyways, they hype up, we're going to see a new guy from NXT by the name of Apollo Crews. Is this big, hulking, black dude. Looks like Bobby Lashley, kind of. But apparently this dude can move. He's athletic, he's agile, he can do like handspring backflips and shit like that. They're like showing footage of him in NXT while they're hyping this guy up, and they're like, he's gonna debut up next, and I'm like, okay, I'll believe it when I see it. But they say that's gonna be up next, and then we cut backstage, and there's Shane with Apollo Crews, and they're just kind of talking backstage. We can't really hear what they're saying, but apparently they're just talking about the match up next. And they cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the break, out comes Tyler Breeze. And then Apollo's music hits. And he's got some shitty music, but whatever. He comes out to a pop. And we get a match between these two. Right at the beginning of the match, there's an NXT chant, of course. Apparently these two had a rivalry in NXT for some time. Apollo hits a standing moonsault, showing off that agility. And he finishes the match with a spin-out powerbomb. He gets Breeze up in like a belly-to-back situation. He gets him up and spins the fuck around and around and around, and then spins him around and slams him down into a nice powerbomb. 1, 2, 3. Apollo wins. Jobs out Tyler Breeze like the bitch that he is. Those were really the only spots of note. The match was okay, I guess. Still, again, kind of short and not that great, but it was okay, I guess. They show a video that highlights Roman Reigns and Charlotte were on the Today Show because they're the new champions. And I'm like, number one, Charlotte's not a new champion. She just got a different title. Roman, whoop-de shit. Whatever. Oh, they also hype up that they're going to do an official presentation for Charlotte with the Women's Championship. And that's going to be later on. And they also say that Roman is going to be coming out later on to address the WWE Universe. They tease that, and they cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the break, Reigns' music hits, and he comes out to a huge chorus of boos. He gets in the ring, and he gets a mic. And fortunately for him, he doesn't say a whole lot. Basically, what he says, he's acting total heelish, dickish, douchebaggy-ish, you know. So I don't know if they actually are going to have him go heel. They really should. They really fucking should. Basically, all he says is, any of the guys in the back who wants a shot at this, he's pointing to the title belt he's got on his shoulder. Anybody who wants a shot at this, come on out. And he chucks his microphone away. Jericho's music hits. And he comes out to a pop. And he starts talking. Mostly it's insulting the crowd, including calling them idiots, to which they start chanting, "We are idiots." Jericho says he's demanding that Roman puts him at the top of the list to be the number one contender for a title shot. And he mentions AJ Styles, he doesn't deserve it, blah blah blah, I'm not giving him another rematch, whatever the fuck. AJ Styles comes out. To a pop, I believe. AJ doesn't even get to say anything. Kevin Owens comes out as well to a pop. And he's followed by Sami Zayn, who also comes out to a pop. They don't really say much. Roman kind of laughs at Sami. He's like, go away, little man, you know. What ends up happening, brawl breaks out between the four challengers. Sami and Owens start whacking each other. AJ and Jericho start hitting each other. And Owens gets thrown out of the ring, and Sami does a nice dive onto him. And Jericho throws AJ out of the ring. And after Jericho throws AJ out of the ring, Roman cocks down, and he comes charging, and he plows through Jericho as soon as Jericho turns around. So Roman plows through Jericho with a spear. The crowd boos. And that's basically the end of that segment. So, yeah, I really think they're going to try and turn Reigns heel, which is what they should have done months ago. The guy just oozes this natural douchebagginess. Just complete unlikability. Just go with it. They're booing him, turn him heel. People will pay to watch him get his ass kicked. Whatever. That's the end of that segment. They show a recap of the shit between Vince and Shane from earlier. And they also hype up another match between the Usos and the Dudleys. This time, by order of Shane McMahon, it's going to be a tables match. And we cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the break, they show another still picture recap from WrestleMania. They do this like 5 times throughout the show, showing different pictures each time. It's all really fucking boring and lame. But anyways, we cut backstage, one of the backstage areas. There's Roman walking with his title, looking really smug and douchey. Up comes Shane. And he says, basically what he says is, you know, I hope you're feeling good about what happened earlier, because I'm thinking you're going to like the main event tonight. Because the main event is going to be a fatal 4-way match between Jericho, Styles, Owens, and Zayn. Fatal 4-way for the number 1 contendership to your WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Roman. That's basically it for that segment. Cutting back to the arena, there's the Andre Trophy. Baron Corbin's music hits, and he comes out. I don't think he got much of a reaction. He really doesn't deserve much of a reaction. From what I've heard on NXT, he's not that good. He's maybe improved a bit from when he was first on NXT, or when he first debuted at least, but he's still just not that good at promos, and he proves it here. Because he comes out, he stands next to the trophy, poses, does the fucking Andre cross arms pose. He's got a mic, and he starts cutting a promo. Oh, before the promo, we get another picture recap of the Battle Royal specifically. He talks, he cuts a lame promo, talking about being, I've cut a path of devastation in my wake through NXT, and something or other about being the harbinger of the end of days. Really lame promo. No charisma whatsoever. He sounded very boring and monotone. Ziggler's music hits, and out he comes. And I'm like, oh great, Ziggler's going to job to the new guy just to put him over. Well, we get a match between these two. And the match ended up being okay, but here's how it goes. First of all, there was a commercial break. Well, that was the first thing of note, at least. Ziggler hits a famouser, and Corbin hits a move that he calls the Deep Six, which is apparently his signature move. It's not a finisher. Trying to remember exactly what it was. I remember thinking it was very reminiscent of Abyss's Black Hole Slam, because it's a big spinning thing. It was like another thing, he gets him up like a belly-to-back suplex, spins him, and then spins him out into like a slam or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But he only got a 2 count off of it. Whatever. Outside the ring, Ziggler gets big booted over the barricade and into the crowd. And Corbin goes out after him. He's hitting him, throws him into something. The referee's counting because they're outside the ring. The referee counts them both out. So, both of them are counted out. No contest, basically. And Corbin's pissed off. He's like, what? You count us both out. Fuck you, referee. This is your fault. He says, this is on you. He goes back over to Ziggler, keeps beating him up, throws him back over the barricade, back to the ringside area. And the way he sets this up looks terrible, but the move itself actually looks good. What he does is, he goes to Irish Whip Dolph, but then he pulls him back, grabs him, swings him forward, and then plants him backwards with a complete shot, or basically what used to be the mic check for Mr. Anderson. He calls this the end of days. Like I said, it's actually not a bad move. Like I said, this looks like it would knock somebody the fuck out, because you plant them smack on their face after the whiplash of bringing them forward and then slamming them back. It looks like it would knock a motherfucker out. So, credit for having a decent finishing move. This guy still ain't that good, though, from what I can see. Promos suck. Whatever. So, he lays Ziggler out, and he leaves. Ziggler is on his face, on the mat at ringside, just dead. By the way, Corbin's entrance is also boring as fuck. He comes out on the stage amidst like a blackout. He's got a spotlight on him. He just kind of looks down. If you saw my WWE 2K16 videos, you saw his entrance, and it's boring as shit. He's got this spotlight on him, he looks down, and then he just looks up, and the lights come up. He just stares. It's weak. This guy's boring. Anyways. So yeah, that's the end of that segment. They hype up the fact that they're going to show another recap. This time of the street fight from WrestleMania between Ambrose and Lesnar. That's going to be next, and they cut to a commercial break. Sure enough, coming from the commercial break, they do the recap, the picture recap of the street fight. And then, for some fucking reason, Zack Ryder's music hits, and he comes out with the Intercontinental title. And they show another picture recap, this time of the Intercontinental title ladder match from WrestleMania last night. Ryder's in the ring, and he's got a microphone, so he's getting ready to cut a promo. The crowd stupidly starts chanting, "You deserve it," the title. So Ryder starts talking, he's cutting this boring face promo. And he mentions again as he did last night at WrestleMania, his interview with Maria Menounos, I believe it was. He mentions that when he was a kid, he got to take a picture with Razor Ramon. And Razor let him hold up the Intercontinental title. Well, backstage at Mania last night, they were able to take basically the same picture, only the roles were reversed. Ramon, Scott Hall, held up Ryder's Intercontinental title. And I'm like, it's the same fucking belt. He shows both pictures up on the Titantron. He also thanks his dad, who's in the crowd. He was in the crowd last night at Mania, and he got in the ring with Ryder when he won. And he's gray hair, wearing a fucking Superman t-shirt. Whatever the fuck. So Ryder's in the middle of cutting this promo. The Miz's music hits, and he comes out to no reaction. And he's wearing this coat. I'm like, well, the thing fits his fucking style. I mean, this being his Hollywood gimmick and everything. I don't even know how to describe this coat. It was like a coat, like a trench coat. It went down damn near to the floor, basically. And it also had this big hood on the back. He didn't even have it up or anything. It was all back. But it was made out of these shiny, almost metallic-looking strips that went down and down and down and down. It looked cool, I guess, you know. Anyways, he comes out, and he starts talking, basically telling Ryder, you winning last night was a fluke. I want you to defend your title against me right now, basically. And at first, Ryder's like, no, I got nothing to prove against you. And Miz is instantly like, spoken like a true coward, you know. Blah, 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 blah. Finally, Ryder's like, you know what, let's do this. And so, we have a match between these two for the Intercontinental title. Ryder manages to hit a Super Frankensteiner off the top rope. There's a commercial break. Miz hits the move I'm going to call the tribute to Maurice. Which, again, for those of you who don't know, Maurice Ouellette, she used to be a diva in the WWE. She used to use this snapping DDT as her finishing move. Well, Miz has basically been doing it's the one where he gets the guy down on his knees, grabs him by the head, and just plants him with a fucking DDT. So Miz hits this on Ziggler, on Ryder. Ryder hits the El Bro drop. Miz is able to get a rope break on the pin attempt after that. Ryder goes for his broski boot, but Miz rolls out of the ring. They spill out of the ring. Ryder gets knocked down. And then Miz is right there, right next to Ryder's dad, who's yelling at him, you know, whatever the fuck. And Miz just kind of slowly turns at him. And he gets in the face of Ryder's dad, yelling at him, whatever the fuck. And Ryder's dad just shoves Miz the fuck over. All of a sudden, some blonde chick comes up and I'm like, hey, wait a minute, that's Maurice. She comes out of the crowd from behind the commentators, I think. She comes over and she slaps Ryder's dad upside the fucking head. And he goes down like, ow, a bitch just slapped me, right? Meanwhile, back in the ring, Ryder stumbles back into the ring. Miz is already there. Miz gets Ryder and he plants him with the fucking skull-crushing finale. 1, 2, 3. Miz wins, new Intercontinental Champion. I'm laughing my fucking ass off. And I'm pretty sure the fucking crowd popped for it. Maurice gets in the ring with Miz, and they're celebrating. Oh my god, yes. And I'm like, this is goddamn hilarious, because Ryder is such a flash-in-the-pan piece of crap. And I am so glad he just instantly loses the fucking title back to somebody who's actually worth a damn. I told you, Ryder, that belt's cursed. You already lost it. And your career is still going to go fucking nowhere. You jabroni bitch. Anyways. We cut backstage to the interview area. There's Renee, of course. Up comes Kevin Owens. And they're talking about the Fatal 4-Way match later on. And Owens basically says, this is my opportunity to go on to bigger and better things. And the road to KO Mania 2 starts right now. We cut over to another backstage area. There's Shane, along with Charlotte and Ric Flair. And they're just talking. We can't hear them again, but it's whatever. They show another picture recap from WrestleMania, and they cut to another commercial. Coming back from the commercial, it's about damn time this happens. Coming back from the commercial, they show a little vignette or whatever. The Vaudevillains from NXT are going to be debuting this week on SmackDown. So that's awesome. Cutting back live into the arena, Lita is in the ring again with the women's title belt on a podium, and she's surrounded by all the other divas. Well, not surrounded, but there's all of them. It's basically just the Total Divas team and the Team Bad and Blonde, as well as Sasha and Becky. They're all there and whatever the fuck. And Lita's talking, whatever. She introduces Charlotte, who comes out with Rick. We get another picture recap, I'm guessing from the triple threat from last night. Charlotte starts talking. She talks a bunch of hot garbage. The crowd started chanting something. I believe it was women's wrestling. Charlotte thanks Rick for helping her win the match. And then she starts basically saying, she starts gloating. Like, this is all about me. Whatever the fuck. She mentions Sasha, who gets in her face, and then Sasha leaves the ring. And Becky went to take like a swipe at Charlotte, and Charlotte ducked it, but Becky gets out of the ring. All the other divas start leaving the fucking ring, and they take off. And Charlotte's like, wait, where are you going? This is supposed to be my moment and everything. The only one who stays is Natalya, who grabs a microphone. And Natty basically says, you still need to learn a lesson in humility. Yada, yada, yada. They get into a scuffle, and Natalya locks Charlotte in the sharpshooter. Only for Rick to drag Charlotte out. That's the end of that segment. So apparently we're going to get a match between these two, or a feud. Apparently they had a match at the Roadblock event, and it was pretty good from what I heard. I didn't see it, so I don't know. We cut backstage once again to the interview area. There's Renee Young. And she introduces my guest at this time, AJ Styles, who comes up. And again, AJ's talking about the Fatal 4-Way, and he's talking like, oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be the dawning of a new era, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's a good promo. That's basically it there. They hype up the Usos and Dudley's tables match. That's going to be next, and they cut to a commercial break. Coming back from the break, we get another vignette. It's this tropical, lush, everything. Apparently we're in Puerto Rico. And there's these flowers. And I'm like, that's Primo and Epico. They're smelling flowers. They're cutting a promo talking about, oh, Puerto Rico is great. Everything smells so nice, and the landscape is beautiful and everything. Nothing like where you live. They're like cutting like heel promo on the WWE universe. Apparently, these guys are finally coming back as heels. And they're as Primo and Epico, no more of this Los Matadores bullshit. Apparently El Torito has fucked off, and thank God for that. The only thing we need to make this perfect, well, we need two things. Number one, we need Rosa Mendez to come back as their manager, or valet, whatever. Number two, we need Carlito to come back. Because this whole vignette thing had a very Carlito Caribbean cool feel to it. Like they're cutting the heel promo, they're in Puerto Rico, it's all nice and everything, and they're acting all heelish and everything. I'm like, all this is missing is for Carlito to be there. Because Carlito is actually, let's see, he's Primo's brother, Epico's cousin. So, yeah, apparently these two are coming back soon. And I'm like, good. I liked them when they were Primo and Epico. The Los Matadores shit sucked, and El Torito can fuck right off. But when they were Primo and Epico, and they had Rosa with them, they were fine. They're good wrestlers. Rosa could talk for them, and she was hot, and she could shake her ass and distract the opponents and help them win and stuff. They made for a great heel tag team. Or, I'm not sure about great, but good. A lot better than the Los Matadores shit. So anyways, there's that. Cutting back into the arena, the Usos, well, not their music hits, but they get their full entrance complete with the tribal dance and all that shit. They get hardly any reaction, although the people did react when they go, when we say Oos, y'all say oh, Oos, and they go oh, and whatever the fuck. And they're pyro, whatever, they come out. Who cares? Then the Dudleys come out, and they did get no fucking reaction. And we get this fucking tables match between these two teams. This match was trash. It was that bad. The Dudleys hit the was-up headbutt on one of the Usos. And then they go, Bubba goes to the Devon! And of course it's the whole thing, it's a tables match, so of course they're going to be like, get the tables. Well, instead of saying that, he goes, Devon, and Devon's like, what? And then Bubba's like, screw you! And they go out and they get for the tables anyways. Well, as they're underneath the ring going for tables, even though there were already tables in the ring, I believe, at least one, they go underneath the ring for more tables. As they're doing that, Usos get up, hit the ropes, dive over the top rope, and splash down on both of the Dudleys and wipe them out. Commercial break. After the break, one of the Usos manages to hit the big Superfly splash on one of the Dudleys. Idiot Dudleys go for power bombs to power bomb the Usos through the tables. They set up tables in the ring. Well, the Usos get out of it, and they both super kick the Dudleys. Yada yada. They get the Dudleys onto the tables, and the Usos go up, and they're waiting, and I'm like, I know how this is gonna fucking end. The Usos jump, and the Dudleys move, and the Usos crash through the fucking tables. The bell rings, and Lillian, the ring announcer, starts to announce, here are your winners, and Bubba instantly grabs one of the Usos and chucks him through this table that's propped up in the corner. Chucks him through the table, and I was already scratching my head because I'm like, wait a minute. Match ain't over until one of the team is put through a table, not dive through a fucking table. There was a tables match a long time ago, oddly enough featuring the Dudleys as well as the Hardys. It was a tag team tables match where they explained the rules quite clearly as you have to drive your opponents through the table with an offensive move. You can't do it with a defensive move. It has to be offensive. Yeah, this match offended me. Anyways, so yeah. Bubba picks up one of the Usos and throws him through the table in the corner, and then he runs over and he's like, "Now you ring the bell, motherfucker!" And he's yelling at Lillian and all this, and I'm like, well, fuck. Whatever. The Dudleys win the fucking match. We cut backstage, once again, to the interview area, and there's Renee, of course. Up comes Sami Zayn, who starts cutting a good promo. You know, he's like, I gotta prove that I belong here in the WWE, and I belong in the main stage and in the main event and everything. You see Renee jump back. Owens comes from behind and starts beating the shit out of Sami. Beats him down, beats him down, beats him down. He picks Sami up and he gets him up in a powerbomb. There's a fucking table, like, I don't know if it was catering or whatever, but he powerbombs Sami through this fucking table. Referees are trying to break him up, whatever the fuck. This is at the 10:30 point, by the way. I missed most of the other timestamps, so whatever. I was actually kind of enjoying the show. So it went by kind of quickly. Anyways, after that, they cut to another commercial break. Coming back from the break, they recap what just happened. And then they cut back to the ring. The Dudleys are still, for some reason, in the ringside area. They're yelling at people, cussing at them, whatever the fuck. They're heading towards the ramp to leave. And then all of a sudden, the music for Enzo Amore and Big Cass hits. The crowd blows the fuck up, because, like, they've been wanting it for weeks and weeks now. There's been backstage reports of Big Cass and Enzo being backstage at the shows, you know. They come down the ramp, and they just completely walk by the Dudleys, don't even look at them. They get in the ring, and they get microphones. And Enzo starts cutting this promo. It's their typical spiel. I don't know. The people who watch NXT, I'm sure you know how it goes. But the crowd completely singing along with all of it, you know. They go through their spiel. And then Enzo cuts into... He just starts roasting the fucking Dudleys. Flinging all kinds of fucking insults at them. You guys look like shit, and you're fucking receding hairlines and shit like that, and all this other stuff. He is spitting hot fire on these motherfuckers. And then Big Cass is like, "What you gonna do about it?" Basically calling the Dudleys out. And the camera cuts over to the Dudleys, and Bubba's like, "Let's go." They go down to the ring, and they go to get into the ring, and then they stop, and then they're like, "Nope," and they leave. And I think it's Big Cass who says, you know, "That's just what we thought, and we got one word to describe you, and I'm going to spell it out right now. SAWFT. And of course the crowd going along with the whole thing. Soft! This whole segment was fucking red hot. And it was fucking great. I'd never really seen much of Enzo and Cass before this, but this promo was fucking great. They destroyed the Dudleys verbally. And I have a feeling there's going to be a match between these two teams coming up, and I'm guessing it's going to be great. My only complaint is the chick that is usually with Enzo and Cass was not there. Apparently her name is Carmella. Don't know why they didn't bring her up with Enzo and Cass. I guess they figure we've got enough divas as it is. We don't need one more. I'm like, you don't have to have her in matches. Just have her come with Enzo and Cass. But this segment was great. They shit all over the Dudleys, and I loved it, because fuck them old motherfuckers. Look like shit. Anyways. After that, more hype for the Fatal 4-Way match, which is now in question because Sammy's been eliminated. They show the graphic, and where Sammy should be, it's like a blank CAW thing, basically. And they say that's going to be up next, and we cut to another commercial break. Well, coming back from the break, we do another picture recap of WrestleMania, and they announce that Zack Ryder has invoked his rematch clause. He wants The Miz on SmackDown. So we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way. And the graphic even showed Ryder against Miz with Maurice. So I don't know if Maurice is back, or she's just going to be Miz's valet, which I'd be fine with, whatever the fuck. They also say that next week on Raw, we're going to have special guest star Dr. Phil. And I'm like, why? Because, you know, the special guest hosts were always such a great thing, right? They were boring as fuck, and they did fuck all. Whatever. Anyways, back in the arena, AJ Styles' music hits and he comes out. And the commentators even say, Sammy is not cleared to wrestle, so he's not going to be here, but it's still going to be a Fatal 4-Way match. Jericho comes out, followed by Kevin Owens, who comes out to a pop. Lillian Garcia says, I've just been informed that Sami Zayn is not cleared to wrestle. However, by order of Shane McMahon, this will still be a Fatal 4-Way match, introducing Sami's replacement. Out comes Cesaro, who is returning. And he comes out wearing a suit and sunglasses, looking great. He's returning finally. He gets a big fucking pop. He takes the shades up and he rips off the suit and rips away this like pull away pants. You know, it looked fucking great. And this motherfucker looks like Jason Statham, so it's like the fucking Transporter and shit. Give him a red tie and he could be Agent 47 from the fucking Hitman games. Just do that and get him some different music, and he'd be golden. Honestly. And I really think what they should do is bring back the old music that he used to use. The hip-hop remix of Dean Malenko's old music. I don't remember what the song was called. But it was... If you remember Dean Malenko's music from a long time ago, they did like a hip-hop remix of that with hip-hop lyrics in like 5 different languages. And that fits Cesaro so well because A, he likes hip-hop music, and B, the different languages, he speaks the different languages, so it fits his whole multicultural background. Throw the ambulance siren from his current music in front of the Malenko remix and have that all together as one thing, and I think that would be great. So, Cesaro is the replacement for Zayn. Apparently, Sammy got hurt earlier when he dove on Owens in the brawl before. So, Sammy might be out for a while again. I really hope that's not the case, because he's been hurt way too much during... I mean, for fuck's sake. He gets hurt in his debut match against Cena, and he's out for months. And then he comes back. He gets hurt again by Owens, and then he comes back again, and now apparently he's going to be hurt again. Really hope that's not the case. I'm hoping that was just a storyline thing. They did this just to have Cesaro return. Hopefully that's what it is. But whatever. So we get this Fatal 4-Way match for the #1 contendership to the WWE World Heavyweight title. Styles versus Jericho versus Owens versus Cesaro. Okay, let's go through this. There's a commercial break was the first thing I had of note. And then there was a Tower of Power spot. Basically what happened was Jericho gets AJ up on one of the corners, and he's trying to superplex him, whatever the fuck. AJ's fighting him off. Owens comes up and joins with Jericho in trying to superplex AJ. Well, while that's going on, Cesaro was out of the ring. He pops up, he comes back in, and he gets underneath Owens and Jericho, and he powerbombs the two of them while they superplex AJ. So Cesaro was the only one who didn't get fucked by this. and he starts uppercutting the fuck out of everybody, including hitting the super, very European uppercut on Jericho. I wrote it down as a Shoryuken, because whatever. Owens hits his package powerbomb for a 2 count. I don't remember who he hit it on. He had already hit his cannonball thing on Jericho once, but he goes for it again, and Jericho gets out of the way. Jericho went for a lion salt on AJ, maybe. AJ got the knees up, so he counters the lion salt. AJ hits his springboard 450 on Jericho. Goes for the cover. Cesaro pulls Jericho out to break the pin. And then we do this spot where Cesaro has AJ in one corner and Owens in the other corner, the opposite corner. And he's going back and forth, running European uppercut, running back and forth. They call this the uppercut train. He's going back and forth and back and forth. Jericho gets in and he tries to stop Cesaro. Cesaro turns around and nails him with a European uppercut too. Throws Jericho into a third corner. He starts going back and forth between the three of them, just hitting European uppercuts like fucking crazy. Cesaro gets Jericho down and does the Cesaro swing on him. Owens hit the pop-up powerbomb on somebody. The pin was broken up. Jericho hits a code breaker. The pin was broken up. Jericho locks in the walls of Jericho on Cesaro. He tries to get to the ropes, but the commentators are like, it doesn't matter. There's no rope breaks in a Fatal 4-Way match. So Cesaro breaks the walls of Jericho the same way Styles did last night by rolling back under. And he then turns it into a sharpshooter. So Cesaro locks Jericho in the sharpshooter, and the commentators are like, he learned that move from his former tag team partner, Tyson Kidd. And I'm like, okay, cool. Cesaro has Jericho in the sharpshooter. AJ springboards in and phenomenal forearm nails Cesaro in the face. That breaks up the sharpshooter. AJ ends up hitting the Pele on Owens, I believe. AJ turns around, eats a code breaker from Jericho, but AJ kicks out. He kicks out of the code breaker. Crowd starts chanting, "This is awesome." They chanted a bunch of different shit throughout the match, throughout the night, that I didn't write down because I either couldn't tell what the fuck they were chanting or it was just stupid as hell. Anyways, finish of the match comes. AJ did an interesting roll-through kind of thing on Jericho. He rolls him around, gets him into the Styles Clash, and he fucking hits it, rolls him over, 1, 2, 3. AJ wins the Fatal 4-Way, big fucking pop from the crowd. AJ won and is the #1 contender to the World Heavyweight title and that punk bitch Roman Reigns. And Raw goes off the air with AJ celebrating. No Roman to be found. Thank God for that. Triple H and Stephanie weren't there. I'm guessing they're licking their wounds after WrestleMania. Vince had already left. This show, so much better than their previous shows. And this was past the 11:05 mark. So Raw probably ended at like 11:10, something like that. Whatever. Not really important. But yeah, AJ Styles is your new #1 contender to the fucking WWE World Heavyweight title. The match between him and Roman is going to be something. Hopefully AJ will get in there and show Roman how to fucking work. And there's no way in hell Roman can be a face against AJ Styles. Because the crowd loves AJ Styles. They pop for him fucking every time he comes out. So yeah, Monday Night Raw, the night after WrestleMania, blows WrestleMania itself out of the fucking water. Holy fuck, man. Jesus Christ. We had so many new people. Enzo and Cass debut. Apollo Crews debuts. They teased the Vaudevillains debuting on SmackDown. Baron Corbin debuts on Raw to beat the shit out of Dolph Ziggler. This show was just really a lot better than the Raws from the last 2 or 3 years. Holy shit. So, I'll go ahead and go over everything like I usually do. Well, not everything, the matches. Kofi and Big E of the New Day defeat Sheamus and Wade Barrett for the tag team titles, so the New Day retains, and the League of Nations kicks Wade Barrett to the curb. The Wyatts attack the League of Nations. I don't know if that's going to turn into a feud or if the Wyatts were just attacking them just to attack somebody and make a point. And I'm not sure if the Wyatts were turning face here, because they are attacking one of the biggest heel factions. So, anyways. Sasha Banks jobs out Summer Rae in a crap match with the Banks statement. By the way, seriously, Sasha, get a better finisher. You can keep calling it the Banks statement, that's fine, but make it better. You need a better move. Apollo Crews debuts to job out Tyler Breeze. It was, again, basically a squash match. Again, the match was okay. Gonna need to see more of this Apollo Crews guy before I can give a real verdict on him. Haven't heard him talk yet. According to the people I talked to on my usual message board, they say he's not really all that good at promos, even though the hype video for him said that he had 4 tools: charisma, agility, strength, and what was the thing? Skills, talent, or whatever the fuck, I don't know. He's shown to not be too bad in the ring. Let's see how he is on promos, and then we'll talk. But yeah, we had that match. Baron Corbin and Dolph Ziggler fight to a double countout. And Corbin lays Ziggler out with an end of days on the floor. The Miz beats Zack Ryder in the lousy-est fucking match to take the Intercontinental title away from him with a returning Maurice. That's fucking great. The Dudleys beat the Usos in a tables match that was trash. Only for Enzo and Cass to come out and just absolutely roast these fucking old motherfuckers. And in the main event, AJ Styles defeats Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and the returning Cesaro to become the #1 contender for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And that was a good match. Really good. So, yeah. Like I said, for once, Raw didn't suck. It was actually... I don't know if I'd call it good or just decent. But fucking anything... For anything, it was way better than Raw from the past 2 or 3 years. Seriously, Raw is usually a fucking chore to sit through. Tonight it actually felt like it went by really quick. Thank God for that, because it's still 3 fucking hours. We had some good matches. We had debuts of a couple of new people. We had the return of at least Cesaro. I don't know if anybody else returned. Seriously, this Raw was so much better than Raw has been over the past couple of years. No John Cena, thank God for that. No Triple H or Stephanie. Vince left early. Shane was supposedly running the show, and what do you know? It's actually a good show for once. So, hopefully, that's the signal that Vince needs to let Shane take the show over permanently. Although I really doubt they're going to do that. But yeah, that was Raw from April 4th, 2016, Dallas, Texas, the American Airlines Center. Show was actually decent. Like I said, felt like it went by pretty quick. It didn't feel like a chore to sit through. There was a couple of parts that weren't so great. But all in all, it was a hell of a lot better than WrestleMania last night, and way better than Raw has been over the last couple of years. So, big thumbs up for this. Seriously. Let Shane take over Raw permanently. Keep Triple H and Stephanie the fuck away from TV. I don't want to see them fuckers anymore. And if you can keep Cena the fuck away too, that would be great. Anyways, like I said, that was Raw from April 4th, 2016, Dallas, Texas, American Airlines Center. Thank you for watching. Join us next time for the SmackDown spoilers. We're going to see the debut of the Vaudevillains, as well as the Intercontinental title rematch between Zack Ryder and The Miz. And I'm really hoping that The Miz keeps the belt just to fucking shit all over that piece of garbage Zack Ryder. Fuck you, Ryder. Take your punk ass back to Long Island. You suck! Good night, everybody.